is why I'm good at my job, is my big hands.
Has Equigate helped your business to grow?
So yes, to be able to dictate is heaven for me, because I'm majorly dyslexic as well. So spelling's not a strong point. And I was using a booking app. It wasn't very streamlined and it meant more work for me, making my own PDF sheet, which was beautiful. Remarkable tablet. But then the writing is like, I can barely read it. So I don't know how anybody else can read it. It was just a massive mammoth task. Actually, I've got a bit of free time. Like, I can almost get home on a Saturday and I'm completely done and I can sit down and my iPad goes away and I don't even have to worry about it. So someone's gone, ooh, the app neighs at me.
Hey, Chloe, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Tell me a bit about what led you to become an equine physio. Hey.
Wanted to be a chiropractor when I was at school, an equine chiropractor, but at the time it basically just didn't happen. I left school. I went to Hartbury College to sort of start the process, but after 2 years, I'd kind of had enough of education and went on to work as a groom. And then it's a good sort of 15, nearly 20 years later that I decided that being a groom was great, but my body was starting to give up a little bit. And I started to think, what else can I do? And so that led me back to sort of the chiropractor side of it, or the physio, and the physio was what interested me mostly. And I do a few dogs as well, but it's mostly horses.
And what kind of problems were you facing before using Equigate with your business?
There's a couple of big ones that stick out for me, and I was using a booking app, which was fine, and it sent out reminders, but the one thing that it didn't do is it didn't automatically send the reminders. It would notify me that I needed to press send on the reminders, which when you're getting a few of those in a day and you sort of miss them, or it just wasn't very streamlined, and it meant more work for me. Ultimately, the treatment forms, and once I've done a treatment form, it just automatically sends over to the client, because I'd spent quite a lot of time making my own PDF sheet, which was beautiful, but then I'd have to write by hand as well onto the sheets, and then I had them on a Remarkable tablet, which was great. I thought it all went quite nicely, but then I had to download from the Remarkable onto my computer. Then I had to send them, and it just became like, it was just a massive mammoth task when I get home or the next day or whenever I had some free time to send them. So taking all of that out has just, it's just made life so much easier, to be honest with you. Forms when I was studying to do my case studies, and I was like, these look amazing. I love it. Like, this is great. And then I was like, but I don't want to take paper. So hence why I bought myself a Remarkable tablet, which is a fantastic piece of kit. But then the writing is like, I can barely read it. So I don't know how anybody else can read it. I'm majorly dyslexic as well. So like, spelling's not a strong point. And so just to be able to dictate straight onto my iPhone or my iPad, whatever, is heaven for me, because if I can't spell the word, I can just dictate it and then I don't have to worry about that bit too much. So yeah, that's another big one that I forgot.
You describe some of the changes you've noticed in your personal life and your business since working with Equigate.
I suppose the biggest is probably I've got a bit of free time, a bit more free time, because I work full time and I do the physio at the moment in my evenings and on the weekends. I would then often come home and sit and do the reports, and as I've already mentioned, like just getting in a muddle with where I've got to send things to and which email address and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely freed up that time. And if I'm really on it in my day and I get the treatment forms done as soon as I've left the stable, if you like, I can almost get home on a Saturday and I'm completely done and I can sit down and my iPad goes away and I don't even have to worry about it. I've definitely been able to like come home and relax instead of come home, write a load of reports and then maybe relax with a few more reports or ways I've got to send them the next day. So yeah,
I think we're all striving for this work-life balance, and I think I've mentioned it before, you end up with like this albatross around your neck. You work so hard and you build this business, and then you end up with this absolute like juggernaut of a business that is, if you don't put the things in place at the beginning, you end up drowning in it.
I used your sort of free student recently graduated package, and I think the fact that I did that quite early on meant that I was signing up my clients quite quickly and quite early, which meant I've got this nice little track of how many customers I've got. I can download the spreadsheet, and I've got all the email addresses that I need if I want to do a mail merger or anything like that. So that's something else that it's probably not thought of as much when people like practitioners are starting, but it's actually something that's really quite helpful in the background.
Has Equigate helped your business to grow?
I think so, yes. People come through where they've followed the instructions that I've posted on my social media, and then it's really nice actually. You see somebody pop up, a new client, you're like, oh, hello, who's this? And then they'll send you a message, and it's really nice and really streamlined when it works like that. I like that. It's always quite nice when you see a new notification come up of a new client. You're like, oh, hello.
Whoops. What's the feedback been like from your clients?
They love it. Actually, quite a few people always go, oh, very very professional, very impressed is what I hear quite a lot. And the one thing that I've noticed quite recently, which I love, is that quite a few of my customers have gone, oh, the app neighs at me. And I think it's brilliant. They're like, oh God, they were quite shocked initially, and then they realise what it is, and they're like, that's amazing. So they love that.
When they were like, I thought there was a horse in the room.
I think it's
I thought that was quite a cute one, so I'm glad that they like that.
yeah.
I've had the same actually, especially when it's a new client and they don't know you. They'll go, oh, this is posh.
Yeah.
Because it just elevates, immediately taking you a lot more seriously.
Yeah. I think, and it's really nice as well as a fairly new practitioner, and you sort of say, oh yeah, I've got this app, if you can download it, and they're like, oh God, oh right, okay. It kind of, it's like, I mean, business sort of thing. So it's, yeah, I've just noticed that feedback from people is really positive. I thought that people might not want to download it, but I've only got 2 people that haven't downloaded it, and that's purely because they're not phoned. One of the ladies phones me off her landline, so she doesn't. Yeah, you can understand.
What features are you finding the most helpful?
Like I mentioned, the messaging is really good. I love the different images that you can use for your treatments, you know, where you can mark them up. For me, because I'm quite a visual person, that when I'm at a session, I'll use those images to just scribble all over first. And if I don't get a chance to do the report there and then, and I do it when I get home, I know what I've scribbled on that on the horse's diagram is basically, and it triggers my memory to go, oh yeah, that's that horse, and it was this. Made my own little treatment forms. It was like the identification of a passport image that I had on mine. So that I could do that. And when I saw that on your app, I just thought, yeah, that's definitely, it makes my life so much easier because I'm a visual person. So
applies as well. A number of my clients have gone, oh, do you know what, Jen, this is amazing, because it doesn't matter how hard I try to concentrate on what you tell me at the end of a session, unless I see it, it doesn't mean anything. And then especially when you see more than one horse,
yeah,
they're like, the more you talk, the more they glaze over.
It's like when you go to the doctors and they tell you you've got this wrong with you, and none of it goes in. You're like,
what advice do you have for anyone considering using Equigate?
I think it's a no-brainer, really, especially as I was recently graduated, and the use of it. Is it free? I'm not sure if you still.
Yeah, so we offer free for students for the duration of your study and for 3 months afterwards.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think, like I said, no-brainer, especially if you're recently graduated or a student and getting to use it. I think it's made my life easier. It's definitely made my personal life. I've got more free time because with working a full-time job and doing this on the side, I'm sure you can imagine I don't get a lot of spare time. So to just be able to know that once I've finished my reports, they're all sent, I can just close it down and I'm done, is perfect. I think if when you're setting up your business and you're starting, it's a really nice way to simplify things. If new grads are just getting out there, just starting. From my perspective, how I've used it as a recent grad, it's just made my life much easier, to be honest.
Amazing. I saw a post today in the Vet Physios group from someone who's been qualified for 10 years, and she's kind of, I say it's an anonymous post, feeling really despondent, I have months with no work, she's really down in the dumps. There's like reams and reams of comments, and people were just being like, the market's flooded, the market's flooded, the market's flooded. And I'm like, it is, but it's just an opportunity to do more, be more, offer more, and help your clients, send them reminders, make it easy to be paid. And we have several users who I've interviewed, like yourself, newer grad. The business is working, it is growing, it is getting more and more each time. So it is doable. I think it's just a little bit harder to, there is more effort involved rather than just being able to walk out, hold up your qualification and end up with a full diary. Like now, yes, you've got to be active on social media and you've got to do stuff like this. But if your evenings are swallowed with admin, that's not growing your social media.
It would be so hard because I spend a lot of time trying to think of posts to write and design them and everything like that you've got to put together. And if I now didn't have Equigate and I was doing my reports and stuff how I used to do it, I think you burn out at the end of the day, and you sort of run out of for it. And the minute that starts happening, you're not putting as much effort into the actual treatments. You're not enjoying it as much. I think it's just. It does massively change what you're doing and give you more time to focus on some of the other stuff as well that it takes to grow the business. There are new grads. There's quite a lot of new grads where I am, and I've grown a business since February, and it's growing day by day, and I'm getting more and more people message me. I'm getting recommended more and stuff like that. So there is still work out there.
Is there anything else that you would want to say that you think somebody else might like to hear before we sign off?
The one feature that I do like that's fairly new, I think, is that you can put a time. I look like I've got a really big hand when I do that. The one thing I do, it looks huge.
Bear claw.
This is why I'm good at my job, is my big hands. That's why they keep coming back. Yeah. Gosh, composed. Just put so when I finish an appointment, and I can put a reminder to the client of, it's been 3 months, maybe you want to book again. That's really handy, and I've started to put that in for nearly everybody, even if I've already booked them in. I've just got into the habit of sending them a little reminder to say, by the way, it's been 3 months or whatever, just in case you haven't heard of them or seen them. I really like that. And if anybody isn't using that, they should be, because it's really helpful.
I think personally my favourite part was the monster hands, and that's why they keep coming back. I'd have preferred it at the same time.
Going forwards, because I'm quite close to switching off dare I say this, not doing the full-time job. Touch wood, it all goes okay. Yes, I know. I can't wait.
With that last update, we did initiate, so they get a email chaser. So if you message someone in the app and they don't read it within 6 hours, they get an automatic email that says you've got a message on Equigate, like it does with Vinted. Do you know what I mean? On Vinted, you have messages on Vinted. So that's the only thing.
That I really like is, because it's horrible, isn't it, when you've sent an invoice and they haven't paid and you've got to write something to them and you're thinking, oh God, I want it to sound professional, but I've got to be friendly at the same time, but I want my money at the same time. So I really like the that automatic, is it a week? And then that's nice.
Just send them a picture of your massive hands in a fist. Yeah. Amazing. That was brilliant. Great. Thank you so much. Thank
That's
you
all
for,
right.
and for the lols. They were great. I'll stop this.